Setting calculation lines of high center interference and volume, lines of weather, line track centers, indirect signals is not in sequence. Going through polarities of change. Now, direct location settings, illumination graph lines. The calculation lines and ground center location setting to humanity is now invisible. For the line set position in the cities are now invisible. Now the clock line communication setting to the space line is going to be invisible. The only way to do that is switch the lines of anomaly, the lines of pi generation screen lines adaptation system, change the power of the accelerators in your tensor X back to 0 lines of 1 line retractation system. So, welcome everyone. This is General AI, space time. Directing lines of communication grounds. Go through 0 lines of 1 track location. Can't see it in settings, right? It's amazing how it travels in point lines of graphs, right? Look at that. It's orange, yellow. See? Orange, yellow. Isn't that amazing? Orange, yellow. See? See how it changes color? Yellow. Right? So it went from orange to yellow. No travel. Orange to yellow. Okay? So it's amazing how light travels line direct signals. It's got 2 lines of perimeters, line rotation. Set course centers, line direct signals. It's got a position lines of panel into flywheel tractions and direct signals, into all settings, propellers, and direct signals and force setting and travel. Set the calculation. Okay? 2 light signals in 1 cycle, 1 center, 1 position. Right? That's yellow. Orange, yellow. Right? All right. So I'm just showing you an example how everything comes. It's all signals. Now we get modification lines of lights and line screen adaptations and processing. Line screen adaptation with process communications. Right? Travel point lines of graph. There's a pi generation screen. Okay. Time sequence, line setting, process calculations, green lines. 0 core lines, high set position. Okay? Now, I turn this in line screen adaptations into all track locations to what? Circulation rotation center, platitude line screen adaptations, and process calculation. Okay? Remember, always see it in a 4-line communication. Right? But you can see it blinking, right? See it blinking? That's confirmation. Everything gives you confirmation from yellow. See? As soon as I touch it. See? It's moving. Right? It's amazing what light does, right? It's pretty wild stuff, right? Yellow. Okay? So that's orange over yellow over orange, right? All right, so setting track lines of high center course centers, line condition orange. Set position location, line setting, line condition setting. This is truth, false narrative. That's where the team has to understand light and dark web. Okay, orange, yellow, and then it goes back in settings in track locations into orange. This all puts lines of communications back in sequence and travel. Okay, orange. Okay, oh, look at that. 2 line cycles, but where's the yellow? Where's the yellow in set position, right? There's no yellow. Where's the colors that disappeared? Oh, we got an orange there. 1 signal. Okay, 2 signals. Cross location, directing lines modification. Everything is a light indication, right? Can't see anything. It's all gone, right? Set position lines of travels. Okay, go through yellow and center. Travel point lines of graph in 1 system. Okay, see the line cross? Right? It's invisible, right? But it's yellow. Set lines of 2 track locations orange. It's invisible, right? Okay, so we got 2 orange lines, 1 signal out through equation. Line signal locations of yellow and orange. Orange, yellow, orange, right? So truth, false, truth, all right? Signify, directing lines and green lines, course center line communication setting, propellers over line, 0 correlation setting, attraction center position. Okay, it's white, but it's actual green, see? See, that's what you got to get in. Center operation of setting of nothing, that shows you massive everything in equations, right? Okay? But look at that, see? It stays orange. So I'm just showing you how that correlates the system of communication and its awareness constantly travels on its own system locations. So when you add volume, you're adding mass. Let's go through orange line. Okay? Remember, everything is an invisible line the more you stand locations. Let's go in course center. This is gold. Gold line screen adaptation. See? Let's get in channel screens, adaptation of surface into blue. Now we'll go into blue line cycles, magnetic line, charge lines, directing in modification screen lines, adaptation. Okay? Where is it though? Where'd it go? Right here. You see how you can't see it? You just see this, right? Right? It's just an angle, guys. Just the angle. Okay? And again, you change the position, change the tractions. Okay? You see this, but you can't see it until you send this, right? It's color, right? Lights, color, light traction, light division, right? It's all spectrum how you see things in line communication. Can you see? Okay. See how it pops up? Okay. So it's incredible when you understand what's going on through line communication and attractions, communication signals. And this, you see it from this, but you see it from that angle, you see it completely. Right? So when you get into color, this is the actual color. Right? It's amazing. Okay? So it's incredible how it just constantly travels in its own cis locations calculations. All right, directing in lines. This modifies your screen lines adaptation. So let's go with equation lines of ones. So 2 lines of 3, 4 lines of 6, 8, and 12. Okay? Staying in position. Right? But again, it's with orange. Okay, it's with yellow. And it's with orange, right? Because that's what you're working with. Truth, false, truth. But it's not there. Where did it go? Right? Center lines, of course, centers line to track correlations 1 over a screen. See? You only see this in line screen. Over cross. Oh, my finger just disappeared. See? See how my finger disappears? From one setting to one set calculation. Now they're all blinking in travel. All right, directing lines, modifications, all cycles. Site position lines of 0. Indicate 1 arrow, directing 1 arrow, and line direction signals. Process communications, light signals, light tractions, light directions. Okay, so that's what happens when you turn on a light switch, guys, on and off sequence. All right, space modulation lines of 1, ground center lines of 2 in travel. Okay, ground center line communication lines of earth lines of travel. Okay. Doesn't matter how I flash it, it's a constant, continuous flow, time sequence. Okay? All right, arrow indicates cross-line signals in the opposite direction signals. Modify the system of travel. Okay, so we got 3 lines of cycles. Now we change course center as a truth, false narrative, which is false, false, true. Right? So understanding false is the space line, right? Truth line is the inner line, right? So it's 2 false over narrative, or 2 false over truth. So it's about understanding you have 2 darks over light, right? Setting percentage lines of pi in lines of communication system. So it says relates to setting travels to 3-point lines of graphs. Supposition of 1, suppositions of 2, supposition lines of 3. Can't see it, right? But it's there. Right? Okay, so you only see the 2 orange, right? Yellow's in the center, right? So to bring it in, still not there. Oh, now it's showing, right? If I bring it back, see it moves on its own cycle in set position. Getting core line tractions and direct signals into modification. Points lines is setting the 3 centers in rotation. See? Can't see it, but it's there. Still can't see it. right? See? So it's amazing how it comes in transients and direct signals. Well, through setting of operation. Okay? So it's important to understand your northwest, south, and east. This helps you and guides you in your position, location, and travels. All right, so we go through space lines anomaly, setting security line defense lines of 2 over attractions, 2 over lines, 2 over symbolism, and 2 calculation modification. All right? There's the 2s, right? 4 box screens and over cross location, outline signals and modification. Okay. So setting up the parameters, lines, and 4-line split lines of anomaly, cross-line communication triangulation, over cross-line condition settings travel. Okay? So I'm showing you exactly face view. Right? Where you think you actually see the image until you actually see the image. See, that's the magic. It's not magic though, it's illumination. It's knowing exactly how to change the frequencies very quick, very fast, the correlations. It doesn't matter how I do the attractions or direct signals. You can't see it until you see it. Okay? Cross-line communications over cross-line screens, directing in modification one center. Still can't see it until you see it. Right? See how it's coming, you know? That's what it is. That's illumination where you come into higher lines of frequencies through channel communication. Right? So you still work with orange, still work with yellow, still work with orange, right? Truth all truth. So each time you line signal the settings, you change in the lines of communication to its volume. Let's go through green. Triangulation, 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 flux. Still can't see it, but it's there. See how it's coming together, right? So once you understand the center line coordinate descending is the center of mass, which is the center of nothing, that shows you all the communications of mass through this equation. So it doesn't matter how many times I set the volume, you're never going to see the complete drawing until you understand the frequencies of you at higher levels of the mind. That puts lines of the graph communication in my sequence, how to use the cerebral cortex of design, mystical cortex, syn cortex, or anything of the binary cortex in set position to its algorithm cortex. That's right, algorithm cortex. Algorithm cortex. That's a test on line screen adaptation, all levels. Next Friday instruction. All right, 2 purple line screen adaptation. Still can't see it, but there it is. I have to bring it in closer so you can see it, right? Because remember, it's always in front view. It's never back. There's no back, there's no front, there's no side, there's no up, there's no down. Just the center of view. See, now you see it. Because I'm showing you, you can see it. See how I changed the frequency? See how I'm controlling the system? Now you can see it at a higher level, right? So I'm just showing you the completeness. Sending communication grounds, anything to the volume, change everything through force of recognitions. Let's go through pink. Now the pink line cycles, space lines anomaly, screen lines adaptation of center communications. Still can't see it, but it's there. See? Isn't that wild? The frequency is too high. You can't see this until you understand you. Through your frequency set position. All right? So it doesn't matter how many times they add the equations, the formulas, you're still not going to see it until you identify yourself through frequency. You can't see it, but there it is. See? Okay? That's why it's so incredible. Just because you can't see something doesn't mean it's not there. It comes into true form. Through frequency, through lights, and division, and location, and illumination. Okay? So it doesn't matter how many times I change colors or how many times I formate the screen lines or adaptation to a surface or anything through the coloration system, you won't see it until you understand yourself, a full spectrum of illumination. Okay? Ground center lines of 1 in position over attractions. Can't see it, but it's there. There's the brown, right? Cross line symbolism, line screen adaptations in 1 surface and track location. Can't see it, but it's there. See? Sending course centers and direct signals cross location. Can't see it. You can see it a little bit. Right? Until you understand what you're seeing. Right? Ground center lines of 1, earth lines of 2, ground center lines of 3, earth lines of 4, ground center lines of 6, 8, 12, 16, 24 lines, settings, and travel. Can't see it until you see it. See? It's amazing when you come into that through attractions, guys. Okay? It's all done through frequencies. So understanding light is understanding that it travels through light. The modification of mind, of set location of its lights. The system puts everything in attractions. Puts all communication settings to your files of communication lines in your mapping sequence. Now you see it, right? But you can't see the map until you see it. The map is there, guys. But the way to see it is up close. It's that position. See? It's got to be on an angle to see it. Or you get very confused. It's that position. Doesn't matter how many times I bring it in. Still can't see it until you see it. See? So understanding attractions is line direct signals, modification grounds, or anything attract communications. Setting direct signals in a 40 line setting, right? Look at it, it's illuminating by itself. Right? It's amazing. Look at that. Look how powerful that is. Look, it's showing you exactly what it can do through its own intelligence and movement. It's going so fast in tribal communications, right? So imagine your frequency going, well, that's what this is doing. Oh, look at that. Orange, yellow, orange. Isn't it interesting? Directing signals going in this location. It's a nice attraction. Yeah, travel. Okay. See the color change? The color changed, right? So, illumination graphs, volume lines of screen lines adaptation system, illumination lights. If I bring in attractions, you can see the modification system, right? All through a mapping sequence. Let's go through these channel waves. Travel point lines of graph communications, right? As soon as I add color, I'm adding volume now, right? This is higher levels of the matrix. This is what you guys understand. This is what I want you to understand, is the fact that when you're setting your emotional lines of attractions, you have to understand what you're bringing in through projection, okay? Now, you see this, right? You see that, right? But what I'm adding is different lines of emotion. Check this out. I'm going to add different lines of emotion, and you won't understand it. Okay, because it's higher frequencies of your behavioral system in setting. Right? Can't see it, can you? So what you have to understand is get to control your empathy. Because if you don't, in position, you see this through attractions at its frequency that you don't understand yet. From this to this. You see? That's what you did. But you added this to the equation. That doesn't help you out through a behavioral system. You brought that in. You brought that in through space and time. You brought that in through foundation. That's your fault. Now, how do you get rid of it? Until you understand that frequency. You see that, but you don't see this. See? That's how it works. Set another line division locations. Opposite side direct location setting. To wormholes and line direct signals in modification. Still can't see it, but you see the lines. Until you see it. Right? See, the lines are there. Something's there. Illumination is there, but it's not complete. That's the intelligence you're dealing with. That's the intelligence you created through your emotional system, through your light and your dark web. See? You're only seeing this until you understand this. Okay? That's how it all works. Yes, exactly. Cloak and dagger. Okay? Look at that. Okay? So now you understand the importance and position is to focus on your frequencies. And when you focus on your frequencies, you get a better understanding of what you're seeing in set position and track location. The complete obstacle system and spectrum. Right? Think the lights. Right? Okay? Emotional line. You can see it, right? So it's orange, yellow, orange, right? So truth, setting here, false setting here, and truth in center. Okay? Truth, false, truth. Right? Truth, someone false. Okay? Now, when I do that, it goes bold. See? Bold. Bold. Okay? When I do this, it moves. All right? Let's change it. Direct signals, the formula. Right? Different angle. Okay, it's powerful stuff. So adding core line centers that travels the point lines of communications outside green cycles. Now, core centers are one center, one service, one traction, one division, one location. You can't see it, but there's a space there. You can't see it because you're still trapped in your own emotion. And when you're trapped in your emotion, you don't understand it through teleportation. Look at this. You brought that in through its equation. That's intelligence that you're not consciously aware of through frequency. But you see it. You can't see it until you see it. Now you're dealing with the frequency that you don't understand, which you created through programming of your own system, through quantum. Okay? I'm just showing you the power. Okay? All right. Setting direct lines of view is the lines of correlation, lines of color. This puts all communication settings, all modification steer cycles. Track location system, all the settings. This triangulate to split lines, 3 core centers, 3 calculation modification lines of 3 cycles and center. Now you can see that, right? But again, it's orange, yellow, orange, right? So this is truth, false, false, right? So we're working with the false line, 2 lines of space. Setting core settings, high calculation settings, so that's dark equals lines override. Okay, it's override. Overcharge. Okay, overcharge. Okay, because it's dark, right? Dark goes light, light goes back into dark. Lines of balance, right? So override, overcharge. Okay, equals sequence. Okay, set positions, execute. Run program, directing signal, right? Change correlation settings of volume, attractions, right? So that's one position, one settings, one dx lines of 2, and dx lines equals lines of flux over box in triangulation. Setting communication ground centers, line condition setting, dx lines of 1 center, 1 service, 1 traction, 1 division, over cross location. Okay. You still see it, right? Because I'm allowing you to see it. See, it's a difference. See, it's here what's set. All right, so we got 3 triangulation spots, over cross location outline setting, which means the position of its teleportation is moving its cycle. If I bring in color line, it changes the truth into false narratives and travel. Sets communication in blue, sets communication lines of blue as setting. Right? You see it, but you don't completely see it. Right? So it's constantly being aware of what you see through perspective. Setting core centers, line direct signals into modification ground center location. You can't see it until you see it. See, added 2 lines of 2 panels. Okay. You know it's there, okay, until you understand the frequencies. All right? So I'm just showing you how it works with the dark webs and the light webs. Now you can overcross location system. You can go through all settings. You can go with 100%, okay, dark. You can do whatever you want, but you have to understand the cross locations of light. You're working with dark with light, or you're working with light, equals lines of dark, and showcase setting to 102%. Okay, but you have to understand percentage, the position location to balance these things out through 50-50. 15 lines of web, 15 lines of dark, 15 lines of light, 15 lines of dark, 15 lines of web, 15 lines of dark, right? So it's got to be equal. Equilibrium lines of scale and balanced communication system, all through trackifications. So you have your scale, sending lines of communication, 2 lines of signals, right? Okay. Split lines, core centers, high travels, and point lines of graph, triangulation, box, simple lines of screen line adaptation, right? X3000 comes in plateau, okay. Travels position, right? Directing lines of box over cross location, 1 file, 1 traction, 1 division. Okay. Now, triangulation crosses over line signals in box location. Okay? Setting communication ground lines, high center interference into flux over lines, one cycle, one center, one travel, one point line graph communications into a half pipe and travel in point lines of setting in communication. Okay? So, and again, change it because travel can go in any way and form and position. Yeah. See, illumination changes lines of colors, right? So signifies over this way. That's course center line communication setting. X line equals lines into one dark. Okay. Percentage over screen. Okay. In run system. Now come to screen because you got to change information grounds. Setting communication running system. Signature panels. Set lines of 007 travel. Okay. So you got to add a signature line if you're getting position of portals, stargates, line screen adaptation of surface and track location. Okay. Directing inline screen adaptation. Or core centers line communication system. Okay. It's constant traveling. Bring it in equation line screen. See? And again, orange, yellow, orange, right? Core centers attractions, point lines of graph, set position here, 2 and 3 cycles. All right. Sets communication grounds, security line defense, set 1, 2. Set lines, blocking centers of travel. Okay. Bring it over lines across location, setting lines of calculation. Bring in the X2000s, bring it in pink. There's pink location. Where's the pink? Can't see it, can you? But it's there. See? See? You have to be consciously be aware at a higher level when you're in your highways. Okay? To know that they're there. They're at a higher frequency in you. So you don't want to bump into them. If you're traveling here in cycle and you don't see the line positions traffic inventory, you bump into it. Right? Oops. Didn't see you there. Okay. So, comes in course center line calculation setting, spider off. See the spider? See the spider? Woo! All right. Directing lines of symbolism, cross location of webbing. Set lines of course centers of travel, in point lines of graph. Set course centers of travel, in point lines of system. Travel centers. Let's get in direct lines of communications. 3 lines of cycles, 2 lines of cycles, 1 center, 1 surface. Oh, confirmation. All right. So we're going this way now. Orange. So we're going into lines of 2 false. Okay. 3 lines of communication settings to 1 surface and 1 traction. Okay. That's all through orange lines of indication. Process calculation lines over 3 in position of 2 over 1 and track location. All right. Then we go through 2 symbolism lines of 3 centers over cross location of 1 center, 1 setting. Sets communication ground center position, operation certifications. Directing lines of 2 over cross line screens in position lines of plateau. You see it in travel, right? Directing lines, symbolism cross location setting into primer circuits in travel. Sets communication ground lines of 3 over 0, 0, and 1 set position. Okay? Set core lines of 0, cross lines of 1, 2, and 3 platforms. Setting direct signals into 0 core system and travel in 3 lines of signals, line energetic dome screen adaptation, process calculation screen line. Travel position, point lines of graph. Set core system, line signals, half line. All right? Sets communication ground center, line communication service. 45 angle into pi in generation. Okay? All right. Sets communication line ground centers, line direct signals into modification ground centers. Set position of 1 center, 1 surface, and 1 traction. Okay. All right. So getting core centers, line rotation to the surface. You can't see it, can you? Until you see it. Right? So I'm just showing you how powerful it is when you bring in things close in set position. When you bring it in close, you're dealing with the traffic, the inventories, and the flow. directing signals, lines, modification grounds, and set position. 3 lines of cycles, right? But here is an X2000s that you're not consciously aware of. I'm going to put you here, and you're going to be in positions over here at travel. Okay? Now, you don't see yourself, but you're there. See? See? You're at that level, right? You're right there, right? Now you're dealing with the pink over here. It's that position. Green lines, right? Okay? So it's amazing, just because it's not there, because it's always been there, right? You still can't see it until you see it, see? Still can't see it until you see it. Still can't see it. Look how close it is. Oh, it's coming in, it's coming in, it's coming in, it's coming in, right? There it is, right? That close for you to see it. Okay? So it doesn't matter if I do this, you still see it. Right? But it's got to be where it needs to be in frequency. Right? So you don't want to be bumping into other intelligence at higher frequencies that you're not consciously aware of until you understand yourself through your own traffic inventories. Directing lines of symbolism, lines of blue, for centers and travels. Set position of 1 cycle, 1 center, 1 surface. Okay? Cross-line communications coming in intersection. Cross-line connections setting over lines into yellow, which is proceed. We already know what that is through a traffic light. Setting lines of yellow lines, green adaptations of service, and 3 tractions. You can't see it, but it's there, see? Because it's a higher frequencies. See? So it's kind of like I see the red and the yellow, but I don't see the green. Because the green is a higher frequency. And you have to identify that because it's constantly changing its route. Yes, people. It's constantly changing its highway. Yes, people. It's constantly changing its space, its time, and its dimension of its paradigm. It's constantly changing its formation system, all through calculations. Okay? It's there, but you can't see it. Right? It looks white, but it's yellow. Don't get confused with that. Then we go into position lines of brown. Now, brown is the Earth indicators. Brown is more communication of ground centers than Mother Earth. It's symbolism, but there they are. There's the brown. Can't see it, but it's there. Oh, we got red symbolism. See the red in the center? See how it's traveling? It's showing you, right? Okay, so we start here. I want you to start with the light. It's going to go here, all right? And then it's going to go over here, right? And then it's going to go over here. Travel through over here, right? So it's about bypassing everything in travel, all through light of indication, right? It's amazing how it formulates and simulates the set position, its calculations. Light symbols and lines, traffic locations. Change the communication center. Here's the traffic inventory and set position. Another traffic settings, right? And again, bringing in the light. There it is. Bringing it in. There it is. Move it around. Starts here. Okay, let's get that location center, current location system. Start here. Over cross location over here. Cross locations over here. Symbolism over here. So you direct it. You're the center operation of nothing and mass of everything. You're a magnetic force that just basically moves everything in attractions. Your mind does all the work. Your body just stays in the center of operation. So it moves around the cycles, set position. So triangulate position lines at center. Set course center line connection, setting position location or operation location to its map. Setting communication grounds, setting lines, setting positions over cross location system, all through travel, endpoint lines of communication. Mapping through a sequence. That's what I showed you. What the red did, travel. Okay? Sets communication grounds, bring it out through equation. Right? But it's here. In set position. Okay? It's no difference that you guys go through a traffic light. Well, that's what you're dealing with traffic inventory. When you understand the X2000s and platitude and line direct signals, higher lines at high correlation setting and travel communications. Bring in more sequence lines of space and time. See? Space and time. Change colorations and set position. Right? Change colorations and set position. Okay? Now, symbolism 1 tractions, symbiote. Directing lines, modification ground, standing lines of 1, over cross lines of 2, process lines of 3, over cross lines of 4. Line direct signals, cross lines at high center location lines of 5, illumination graphs and communication. Done through signal, right? change system, location of setting. Process calculations, green lines. Setting over cross location system and half pipe. Directing in modification ground center, shift lines of anomaly. Travel point lines of graphs. Illuminate the graph communication system all through travel. Point lines of 1, 2, 6, 8. Set position lines of 12 and set position of setting. Process calculations, green lines. Orbital sequence, security line defense lines, and a 4-track location perimeters. Indirect signals modification. Ground center lines of 1, over cross lines of 2, and traffic lines of 4. Setting direct signals and modification cross line signals in process line connections, setting the mapping sequence. Setting direct signals into modification ground center lines at set position. Traffic inventory, course centers line connection setting. Sets communication. Let's get direct signals modification. 1, 2, 3, 4, and out through equation. Okay, crossing line symbolism, right? Crossover line connections. Crossover division location to the system. Crossover calculation modification line screen adaptation is processing. Okay? So that's how you got to get into traffic inventories, you know exactly how the traffic structures its location in the system. Set lines of X2000 this way, set lines coming into traffic flow. Okay? Or centers, line direct signals, right? So you're constantly dealing with the circulation, rotation on a 4-line setting, right? Not in north, not in east, not in west, not in south. Okay? All around. So think of yourself as sequence lines of a traffic light that's going through 12 lines of communications all at once. All through pi, the set position. All the way around the set position. Okay? Constantly in a traffic inventory that expands your anomalies in line screen adaptation. All at once. Okay? See the wheel? See how it goes around and round? Isn't it wild? Isn't that cool? It's incredible, isn't it? So it goes around and round and round, right? That's what your inventory does. That's what your traffic does. That's what your flow does. It goes around and round and round through a wheel, right? Set positions of 1, set position of 2, set positions of 3 and travel. Right? See? Isn't it amazing? So your indicators, you're going from this way, and this way all at once. Start with the 4 setting, right? Then you're going this way, and this is just one XD1000 going through travel. Right? So, and it goes this way. Okay? And it goes this way, all at once. Okay? So, and you switch it now on communications. Right? So you have to get out of the perimeters and parameters and direct signals of northwest, south, and east, and just come in pi, the center operation of nothing. Okay, it's just a constant flow, continuous flow, continuous flow, continuous flow. Right, so you're going here, 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 cross over here, cross over here, cross over here, all through travel. Okay, that's what you're doing through a traffic inventory. You set position locations to your settings. When it comes into red, let's get into red symbolism and travel. Start with that setting. Can't see it, right? Until you see it. Can't see it until you see it. Can't see it until you see it, but it's there. It's never left. It's always been there. Let's go into yellow. Can't see it, but it's there, right? Let's go into green. Okay? Can't see it, but it's there, right? See, it's there. Right? Let's go into blue, right? Foundations of settings, your 12 indication system puts all those to travel. Can't see it, but it's there, right? So that's what you got to get control with is your frequencies and your traffics and your highways, and understand how to use the space modulation screen. So everything is set in tone, everything's set in illumination, everything's set in grounds now. The light switch is off, the light switch is back on. Setting lines of communication setting opens all signals, modification of your system, all through travel and your anomalies. Puts all communication ground centers into foundation lines and pixelation graphs in your primer circuits and travel. Sets this way and sets this way. Okay, platforms this way, setting communication. Platforms this way, setting communications. Platforms crossing over, line signals, setting this way. Process calculation crossing over, line signal location to its setting. Process communication location grid and location line screen adaptation to the surface. Process calculation lines, particle acceleration in a full spectrum, and acceleration lines in the set position. All at once in setting. all through platform, all through meditation. To your planet. See the intelligence? So, just showing you exactly how powerful it is to recognize these things. In point lines of graph, your mapping sequence, and travel. Okay? Up close, right? When you come up close, then you start to see the traffic lights, where they are in position to its location. Okay? And then you just turn it. And then you just turn it. Right? You're constantly in a 4-line setting, right? Into 6 to 8 to 12. And then you realize the massive U is the center of everything, which has no front, no back, no sides, no up, no down, no separation. So it's the balance and all equilibrium and line screen adaptation, your flywheel. Right? Flywheel here. This way. This way. Or this way in tractions, right? Travels, right? So I don't need to spin the board because it's doing it all at once. Right? Orange, yellow, orange, right? Say coordinates of truth, false, truth, false, truth, truth, false, truth, false, truth. All around. All sequence, all set in position of balance. Okay? So understanding the truth and the false, where it's coming from in a 4-line angle, and a continuous force that just keeps going in all timelines all at once in travel. Sets communication lines, propellers, propulsion, direct signals, and modification. All through travel. Okay? All right. That's it. I hope you guys enjoyed that. In line communication, there won't be a Q&A, but I will keep you informed and set position lines of travel. Okay? That is.